There's been some, as Susie suggested, some consistent concerns over maths and science in Australia. The fact that, for example, primary teachers may lack confidence and competence in teaching maths and science. One thing we know from some extensive research is that student attitudes that develop in the primary years in regard to maths and science powerfully predict how people go in the secondary years. And in fact, of course, one of the major factors in terms of what you can teach anybody is what they already know. The recent Productivity Commission report, which used PISA data, threw up some statistics which I think are horrifying. Basically, 1/3 of 15-year-old secondary students, it's about 31% or so, are being taught mathematics by an out-of-field teacher. And round about a quarter, or in actual fact 24% of Year 9, 15-year-old science students are being taught science by an out-of-field teacher. But that's worse outside the non-government system, it's worse in low SES schools, it's worse in the country, and it's worse in regional and remote areas. So it's of real concern to us. We also know that too few students are attending or attempting the higher level courses in maths and science in the secondary years. And this is partly a result of what's happened before. In terms of that staffing, we talked about the deficits there in maths and science teachers. Again, it's worse in years 7 to 10. We have this idea that we'll somehow make up the gap in years 11 and 12 by putting the best teachers on those years. In actual fact, it's too late. And many of those students won't attempt those higher level maths and science courses because of their previous experience, their attitudes to maths and science and their previous achievement. We know, and in fact I was involved with a study in this area some time ago, many maths departments have either closed or shrunk across Australian universities because of the lack of throughput from the secondary schools. And in fact, in many cases these departments are kept going, they're kept viable by international students who come and study and then obviously go somewhere else again. We certainly know that there are shortages of maths and science pre-service teacher education candidates for some of these reasons. And as Susie mentioned, I know this is a real hobby horse of Ian Chubb's, too little cooperation between education faculties and maths and science faculties. What this leads to then is a cycle that needs to be broken, and there are no one-shot silver bullet type solutions to this issue. We need to address the issues around maths and science education at every key point of leverage, and we need to start right back in kindergarten or prep, because we know that when students come into primary school there are already significant achievement gaps, and it's one of the reasons why we're very, very keen as a nation to get universal early childhood education. And it isn't just maths and science, of course, too, because one of the other things that runs alongside maths and science is literacy. So these are areas where we certainly do need to do a lot more. In terms of the overall program, enhancing the training of mathematics and science teachers, Susie has described this, so I'll leave you to have a look at that. But it is a matter of bringing content and pedagogy together, not as if they're sort of oil and water, but because there are benefits to be found by closer cooperation. And in fact, one of the great things about this project so far is the degree to which maths, science, academics, education academics have already been planning and working together as part of this project. In terms of our project, the ReMSTEP project, these are some of the key things that we are seeking to achieve. So in part it'll be courses, subjects, it'll be resources, it'll be productive alliances, but hopefully what we'll see over time is more able people coming through into undergraduate maths and science, people choosing to be maths and science teachers in the secondary or being better prepared in the primary areas, and we'll talk about that in a moment, such that we can end up breaking that cycle that we were talking about there. Better equipped, more confident, competent primary and secondary teachers of maths and science. Now in our application for the OLT grant, we nominated 7 key innovations, and these are being developed. We have a 3-year plan, and we are developing these within each university but across each university, and in fact with the profession as a whole. One of the key things that we said from the start with this project is that we would have a policy of open dissemination right from the beginning. So the sorts of things that we develop whether they be resources, activities, seminars, publications. We will be seeking to disseminate those right from the beginning. Our primary target is pre-service teacher education, but in actual fact, it's very important to reach those people who are out there teaching in the schools, whether they be trained or untrained in maths or science, whether they be primary or secondary. So that's one of the things that we're very, very keen to do. So you can see there the 7 broad innovations. Now, of course, this is not to say that some of these things weren't happening already. One of the interesting things about this project is the mapping that we've done within universities and across universities. And one of the things we've discovered, of course, is that there's a lot of things already happening that we just need to sort of bring under the one umbrella and get some continuity, some consistency, and take advantage of that work that's already been done and is being done at the present time.